a gateway, 5G modem, Wi-Fi 7 with 6 GHz, UniFi Protect, UniFi Access, UniFi Talk, all in one box for $499. Ubiquiti's Dream Router 5G Max is no longer a dream, and it does everything, so let's take a look. Let's do a very quick unboxing. I feel like I haven't done one of these for a little while. So this is what we're greeted with inside the box. This is the main device itself. So this is the UDR 5G Max. We have power, and we have the power brick that comes with it just in here. We have a SIM removal tool just here. We'll have an enterprise patch cable just here, which we won't need for this. And then we have this standard booklet that comes inside all the boxes. I think what we are all more interested in is obviously what this looks like inside here. So let's open this up, take this out. Let's pop this all out the way now. So this is the UniFi Dream Router 5G Max. And I feel like I've seen a very similar design to something like this. I wonder where I could have seen something like that. But nonetheless, it has a nice finish to it, like the standard UniFi products, a nice white finish to it. We have a 4.7-inch screen on it. It says UniFi 5G on there. Not sure if you'll be able to see that. More importantly, let's have a look at the I/O. So we have 2 nano SIMs, and it does have eSIM capability, so keep that one in mind. So you can either use 2 nano SIMs or 1 eSIM and 1 nano SIM, entirely up to you, however you want to use that, or you can just use 1 eSIM or 1 nano SIM. We'll put that to the test a little bit later. We have 4 2.5 gigabit ports and 1 SFP plus port, which is also 10 gigabytes. You can choose any of these to be your WAN port if that's what you wish to do, and we have 1 PoE port on here as well, which has a 15.4 watt budget. At the bottom, you're greeted with a reset button just here. This is a nice rubber finish at the bottom, so obviously it's going to have that grip on the base. And then you can see just down here we have our DC input, which we have our power cable for, and then we also have a SD card slot as well, which is a very interesting piece to get out. I'll have to look inside the box to see if there's some sort of tool to take that out. So for those that are wanting to see a physical size difference between the two, there you go. That's the difference between the UniFi Dream Router 7 and the Dream Router 5G Max. So we can see on the back it's a fairly similar setup in terms of specs. We'll go through comparisons a little bit later, but yeah, this is the physical difference between the two. And I was able to pull out my SIM removal tool and get this in here to be able to lift this up. So I have been able to do that just like so. And there is a 64 gig card, and I know that's upside down, but there's a 64 gig card installed in here. So now we're going to get this set up, and we're going to plug our internet into port 4, and then we're going to use our mobile device to see if we can get it adopted. So we plug this into here. Let's get some power in here. We can see we have the white light just powering up at the bottom, and my hand has obviously been here for a little while, but it's starting up. There we go. Slightly clean the screen now, so you can see that. Estimated time remaining about 4 minutes. So let this get booted up, and we will come back shortly. So we've seen what's on the screen just there. So we're now ready to get this set up. Now we're going to get this plugged into my network at the moment. So the first thing we're going to do is plug into our WAN port. So this is into port 4. Let's get that one plugged in. Let's get an internet connection in there. And then we're going to open up the UniFi app. So we jump into the UniFi app. So we can see this device just pop up just here. So we have the Dream Router 5G Max. We can click set up. That's going to get connected. So we can set up a UniFi SSID. So this is just for us for our testing purposes at the moment. So we'll get that one set up. So that's the name, UniFi Dream Router. So the name is Dream Router 5G Max. UniFi is the SSID, and we can click connect, and that is getting everything set up. So while this is getting set up, before anybody asks, yes, you can get this set up with a 5G SIM card and an eSIM card. I'll leave a screenshot on the screen just now showing you how I've tested that and what options you can press. Basically, you don't plug a cable in, and it will give you an option for an eSIM. So yes, you can get it set up that way if you wish to do so. I'm going to be setting up a Olilo SIM card with this, an eSIM that we have. And just while we're talking about that, a big thank you to them for sponsoring today's video. Just a bit of context on who Olilo are and what they can offer. They specialize in an eSIM-only mobile plan, which means no physical SIM, no waiting around. You just swap your SIM card and you're ready to go. You can activate everything digitally like I'm going to do in this video, straight from your phone. Take a picture of the QR code and it'll get set up straight away. And they have a couple of different options when it comes to data. So you have 10 gig of UK and 10 gig of EU data, which will cost you around about £11 a month. And for their not quite unlimited data package, that comes in at £16, which I think has a fair usage policy of around 750 gigabytes. So all in all, I don't think you're going to go through that very quickly anyway. They offer solid UK coverage, and that's ideal if you want a secondary line, your main line, a data only setup, or something that just simply works, whether that's for work, travel, or even testing gear like I do. So if you're looking for something easy and a no contract mobile data option, Olilo's worth checking out. There's a link down in the description. If you want to know more about their plans, you can click on them and have a look. So this is the screen we have at the front, and this is actually a touchscreen. So we have all the the information on here that we would possibly need. We have the ports, clients, Wi-Fi, network activity. We have internet with speed tests and cellular if we're setting up cellular, which we'll do shortly with Olilo. We have about, so we have the memory and CPU, so 27% and 50%. We have the WAN connectivity. We have the uptime. We have the settings in here. So we have the screen brightness, which we can create to 0 to 100%. We have the LED brightness, which as you can see at the bottom, and we can choose the color. Don't know the exact blue Ubiquiti color. I'm not sure, but anyway, you can switch that around anyway, whatever, however you see fit. I think it's something like that anyway. And then we have fan speed. So maybe this is probably a firmware update in the future, but that doesn't seem to actually let me increase anything. It just stays on auto. And then we have shutdown or restart. If we go back now and we try out a quick speed test. So let's just run a speed test on here. Let's see what we're getting. So we're getting about 1100, 1200 megabits per second download speed. Keep in mind, this is just a network speed. So this is just on here directly. So we're getting about 2.1, 2.2 maybe gigabits per second upload. So yeah, perfectly fine there in terms of what that's running. And then you see the network activity happening right there. And let's go into UniFi Network then. So we're greeted with something like this on the dashboard, which will tell us all about it. So gateway IP network. So we have one single internet connection. So this is my Olilo network connection. We have the devices that are connected. So it's just this. We client devices. I have my desktop connected. So this is everything you expect to see within UniFi Network. If you want to know more about UniFi Network and what it can do, obviously let me know down in the comments and I can put another more getting started with Ubiquiti video together. We have the settings, so all the very quick settings, full UniFi OS features in here. There isn't anything that's missing that you would get on another console, for example. So we have Wi-Fi networks, cyber secure, high availability, policy settings, and then the control plane. So this is everything we have set up here. So we can upgrade to version 10.2, which we'll do shortly. And going into the internet, which is the main one, we have our settings in here. So we can activate the eSIM. You can do it by the mobile device just by scanning the QR code, or we can go to activate SIM, eSIM, scroll down to the bottom here, and then obviously we can add eSIM. Now I've done this in the past with another video, so you can go and check that out if you want to see how I did it with mobile device, but it's just a case of selecting the eSIM and then making it happen. So once you've typed in the LPA activation code, you can just click add eSIM, and then that's basically going to go off and add the eSIM. And again, big thank you to Olilo for supplying this eSIM. We can see at the bottom, it's preparing the eSIM. So it's prepared it, downloaded the profile. There is one slight tweak I need to make with the Olilo SIM card, which I'll show you in just a second. We just need to change the APN details. But other than that, it's pretty much plug and play and away you go. And then just there, I'm going to use custom APN and just type in Gamma right there and we can click apply. And there we go. That's just going to go off and search, and then that's going to then get activated. Now, if you want to pop in a physical SIM card, you can do that also as well. Just by removing the #1 SIM slot on there, you'll see automatically that SIM 2 has already been disabled. And I'm just taking my one from my mobile phone at the moment just for demonstration purposes. So we can pop that in, then plug that in there. There we go. That's plugged in, and we'll see SIM 1 become active as well. So you can see Olilo is now there. That's all connected. And we have obviously SIM 1 now set up required. So we can click on here. Again, scroll down to the bottom. So the first thing I'm going to do is make this one my primary. So that's now set as the primary SIM. You can see that. We go to SIM 1. We can click activate SIM 1 if that's what we want. And then that's just going to go off and read the SIM card and then become activated. Now with this, you may want to set up some priorities, which you can do down here. So we can choose load balancing if you want a load balance between all of them, or if you want a failover option and what that looks like. So at the moment, WAN 2 is failover first, which is disconnected, which is the WAN 2 on here, which we don't want. So actually we can leave that as unassigned because we only have a single WAN connection, and click apply just there. And then WAN 3, which is actually this, which should change to WAN 2, is actually your eSIM. So there we go. You can see we have O2 set just there. We have the eSIM set just there. Not only do you have a 5G connection with your internet failover, you now have another SIM card failover if the initial SIM card fails, or you have the eSIM that you need to remove for whatever reason. You have all these settings within. So for those of you that might be wondering, and you're probably thinking at this point, well, what difference am I going to get between a Dream Router 7 and a Dream Router 5G Max? Obviously, there's a bit of price difference between them. You're looking at another $220 on top. So let's have a look at some of the difference between them and see what there is, if anything. So we have obviously both of them run the full UniFi OS stack. They both have, in terms of managed cameras, so 5 HD, 2 2K and 1 4K, and we'll touch on that a little bit later when we look at Protect. Same users, same max WAN port, and pretty much the same connectivity. We have the same IPS IDS, same coverage, so it is pretty much fairly similar. I think where it differs slightly is probably, if I go to unique specs, it might be a little bit better. We have a slightly higher dBi when it comes to the 6 gigahertz, but lower with the 5 gigahertz and 2.4 gigahertz. We have a slightly higher power consumption on here, and I think that's pretty much the main difference between them. So what you're looking at is the big addition of the 5G capability. Now, well, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, why don't you just get yourself a 5G Max and plug that one in and it will do the same thing? And yes, you're fairly right in terms of what you would be able to do. You'd be able to get something like this and plug it in and away you go. However, something like this is going to set you back an extra $399. So you actually get this built in within it for an extra $220. So that's something you can keep in mind when you're trying to spec one of these out. You can see now we have this set up. So Olilo, my main internet connection, we have the Gamma connection, and we have the SIM card set up on here as well. So what we're going to do, we're going to run a quick ping out, and I'll make this a little bit bigger so you can see what's going on. And all I'm going to do is disconnect my internet connection. So if we go from here, let's pull my internet connection. Let's see how many pings we will drop before this takes over. So we dropped one ping. So literally one ping is all we dropped when we noticed that, when we've plugged that back in. And if we go into here, you'll see, so it's showing the internet is disconnected. But if we go straight back in, and you can see now that that WAN connection has gone offline. So it's no longer there anymore. It doesn't exist. In theory, I could just take this with me, and on the way I go, I have a 5G connection, and yeah, let's go. Let's take it with me wherever I need to go. If we want to plug this back in, we can plug it back in, and we'll see the WAN connection come online, because this is actually my primary WAN. So we don't need to worry too much about, obviously, this coming back online. It will just take over straight away. So if I bring my ping back up, you'll see we drop one ping and then we're back up again. We've picked up where we left off. Obviously the console in the background refreshed and it's brought itself back up, and we can see it there. So it's really quick and easy in terms of the failover. So there's no issue from that side of things. So let's see how this works in terms of performance wise. So we have a couple of ways we can test this. So we're going to choose Wi-Fi Man. That's the first one we're going to test. And then we're going to go and use open speed test. So we're going to go through this. We've got my computer connected to this at 2.5 gigabits per second. And you can see right here, looking on Wi-Fi Man, in terms of throughput, this is right next to it. You can see I'm literally sat right next to it at this point. So we can see we're getting 800 megabits per second, roughly, give or take, in terms of the signal, minus 20 dBm. And we're running at 6 gigahertz with 320 megahertz width. For the open speed test, we can run this again. Let's just see what we're getting. So we're getting around 1500, about 1550 megabits per second in terms of download speed. And we're getting about 1350 megabits per second in terms of upload speed. So going through your machine all the way through seems to work quite well across the network. But in terms of throughput to this, you can see this is capping out around 700 to 800 megabits per second. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go across to two other areas in my house that I have done in previous videos. We'll go to the furthest point on the same floor and then the furthest point on the ground floor. And I'll pop up the results and we'll have a look at what sort of results we are getting with this. Let's recap some of the results and what we can see. So I've tried to illustrate the diagram and obviously the test that I'm going to do. So there was 3 different tests. So we did the first one, which was close by, and the results actually turned out to be a little bit better, which is why I've updated the results there. So Wi-Fi Man was showing 800 megabits per second. I think that might be a small bug at this point, but in terms of open speed test, I was getting 1830 megabits per second down and 1930 up. In terms of going to the furthest bedroom, so this was probably maybe the best part of about 10 meters away, maybe, and on the same floor, going through a couple of stud walls. So Wi-Fi Man dropped to 730 megabits per second, and open speed test was 870 down and 630 up. And then test number 3 was down at the furthest point in my house through to the kitchen, so through to the ground floor. We had 400 megabits per second in terms of Wi-Fi Man, 422 megabits per second in terms of download, and 103 megabits per second in terms of upload. You can also see the signal strength I had at this point. So we had 21 dBm at the top, we had 47 dBm, and when I went to the kitchen, it actually dropped to 5 gigahertz as well. So that dropped to 5 gigahertz and 160 megahertz width. Obviously, because of the 6 gigahertz can't penetrate that far enough. So it dropped to the 5 gigahertz spectrum. Feel free to pause this page if you want to review the stats a little bit further, but that's pretty much the results that I got. Now, with this being an all-in-one device, like I mentioned at the start of the video, we have the option to be able to install other applications. So if we go to control plane and we have a little look in the middle here, we can install all of these applications on here. So Protect, Access, Talk, Connect, Innerspace. The main ones obviously are going to be Protect and Access. We can get those installed by just clicking the install button and away they go. And then we're just going to try and give this little camera an adopt and make sure it works and does exactly what we need it to do. Just while Access installs there, UniFi Protect has now been installed, and we can take a look. We're running 7.0.94. Click on Protect at the top and it will take us to here, and we go to the dashboard and we're greeted with the dashboard as we would expect. So again, everything is as you expect on all your other Ubiquiti devices if you are looking for something like this. So you're not going to miss out on any additional features. If we go to devices, you can see the G4 Instant is right there. We can click Adopt. Not sure if you heard that, but you can enable the smart detections. We can pop them there. It's obviously facing my computer at this point. So if we click play, we can see that's me right there. You can see that the camera's relatively smooth. I'm not let me just add that I'm not connected through to this device at the moment. On my machine right now, I'm connected through unifi.ui.com. So you can see I'm going through the cloud at this point, not directly connected. So do keep that one in mind when you're looking at the image and how it is, etc. And also just to show you what will happen on the playback, obviously if we switch over to 5G. So I've pulled my network cable out of the Dream Router. So just to show you. So we are now pushing onto the 5G cellular backup. And there we go, Protect has come back up, obviously after its initial blip. And during that blip, it seems like my camera has decided to do an update. So let's let the G4 Instant finish the update and we'll come back and take a look at what the image looks like over the 5G connection. There we go, we're back now. That update is now complete. And you can see even over the 5G connection, I'm waving my hand just so you can see what it looks like on the camera itself, that the connection is perfectly fine and works as you would expect it to work, and no issue with it running as it is. You have access to playback, which there won't be a lot of because we've only just started recording, so there's not going to be a lot of it just here, and there was an update halfway through as well. But yeah, there was the update, so it was right at the start. So there's not a lot of HQ recording, but yeah, I mean, you can scrub the timeline as well if you wanted to. So let's talk about when you're going to use something like this. So the big decision I think you need to make when looking at something like this is how crucial is the 5G element to you. If it is crucial and you need something set up and you want an all-in-one device, then maybe something like this is what you want to be looking at. If you have something in terms of a rack mount setup, then possibly this might not be the right option for you. Possibly still might be. It might be within your budget and everything that you're looking at. So there are multiple factors that you need to keep in mind. If you're looking for something as an all-in-one device, something that has a 5G backup, something that takes SIM, a physical SIM and eSIM, something that has 2.5 gig and a 10 gig connectivity within, then this could be something that you need within your setup. A couple of what you probably might call limitations is the SD card. So that's one thing. I think the placing of it it's a bit awkward in terms of getting that out and getting your finger in. I think that's just a bit awkward. That's just could just be my hands. Maybe something for you can look at. But I think obviously there's limitations in terms of SD card size as well. So you can get terabyte cards, but obviously, yeah, it depends on how much data you want to put. It's not going to be a 4, 8, 16, 24 terabyte drive that you can put in a normal UDM Pro or Pro Max. So it depends, again, another one to think about depending on how much recording you're going to do on this. If you're looking for something that's going to sit on the side or on your desktop, has Wi-Fi 7, has 5G backup, and $499, this is it. This is everything that you've probably been waiting for. Now, no doubt there's people that are going to come and say, where's the 10 gig? Where's this? But there are other variants available for something like that. Let me also add that this is my initial test. I haven't done any thorough testing with this at point. This is just me doing some basic testing and showing you what the UDR 5G Max is all about. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Again, thanks to Olilo for sponsoring this video. Again, the links are down there as well. For now, this is InsideWire, and I'll see you in the next one.